Let me record from my side. Let me share the screen. Okay. Right. So now we have to configure the quorum, guys. So how can we configure the quorum? Please mute it. Right. So select your cluster name. Okay. Select your cluster name. Right click. Okay. More actions. Configure cluster quorum settings. Okay. Configure cluster quorum settings. Just click on this, guys. It is also very easy. Okay. You have to simply tell what is your cluster quorum, guys. Quorum you can configure with multiple options. Either disk option you can go, or file share witness you can go. Okay, disk witness, file share witness, and all. Okay, so any witness you can go. Usually in the organization, people will go for file share witness. Sometimes they will go for disk witness. As we have configured the disk, ours is disk witness quorum, guys. In the organization, mostly people will create file share witness. Okay, disk witness, file share witness, like that you can see. Go to next. Okay, use default quorum configuration, select the quorum witness or advanced quorum configuration. Go to select the quorum witness, guys. Next, now you can see there are three options. Configure a disk witness, configure a file share witness, do not configure a quorum. Which option I have to choose for this setup? Disk witness. We have created a disk for quorum, right? So I have to use this. In the organization, people will use this option, guys. They will create a file share and they will use that file share as a file share witness. So in the organization, you can see any witness, that is different thing, guys. Whether cluster is available or not, that is the main thing. Okay, so we are configuring disk witness in the organization. You can see a file share witness. Okay, and that the file share should be enabled, guys. See, once this quorum is, the quorum disk is converted into the complete quorum, the quorum should be enabled. Otherwise, if the quorum disk is down, the cluster setup also will be down, guys. Like if master database is down, your SQL server will down, right? In the same way, all your cluster settings, okay, all your cluster settings will be stored under quorum, guys. Quorum knows who is the present owner. Quorum knows who will be the next owner. Guys, I have 5 nodes: node 1, node 2, node 3, node 4, node 5. If my node 1 is down, to which node it will go, guys? To which node it will be failovered automatically? Node 2 or node 3 or node 4 or node 5? How it will determine? Node 2? Will it goes to node 2, guys?
No, sir.
Then why can't node 3? Why can't node 4? That will be decided by your quorum. Who is the current owner? Who will be the next owner will be decided by your quorum. Yesterday I asked one question: heartbeat is mandatory?
Yes, sir.
Mandatory, sir.
To come in.
Mandatory.
Heartbeat is mandatory, but again, separate networks is not mandatory. You can configure the cluster without heartbeat also. Then you can ask, sir, what about communication between the nodes? Your quorum will help us to build the communication between the nodes, guys. We can configure the cluster without heartbeat also. This is the interview question. Is heartbeat mandatory? No, not mandatory. Okay, the communication is mandatory between the nodes. But who will help us to communicate? Your quorum will help us to communicate between the nodes. So heartbeat is not mandatory, guys. You can configure the cluster without heartbeat also. But private communication is mandatory. That can be achieved using your quorum. Quorum knows all the cluster settings. And we discussed it, right? If my node 1 is down, how it will goes to node 2? The automatic failover is a round robin method, guys. Okay, node 1 is down, it will go to node 2. Node 2 is down, node 3. Node 3 is down, node 4. Node 4 is down, node 5. Node 5 is down, again go back to node 1, node 2, node 3, node 4, node 5. Again go back to node 1, node 2, node 3. So it will be like a round robin. Okay, until it got a proper node, it will keep failover the resources from one node to another node, guys. Okay, so that is the use of the quorum. Who will do all these things? Who will do the failover and all, guys? Who will do? Clearly your quorum only will do the failover. Of course, you will click on failover. Then also your quorum will activate and it will do the failover. Or automatic failover. If your primary node is down, quorum will activate and quorum will do the failover to node 2, guys. That is the importance of the quorum. You are creating quorum with a disk witness. So I don't have file share witness. So I'm choosing a disk witness. So quorum is important, guys. Do not configure quorum witness is not good option. So we'll configure quorum, okay, with the disk witness. Next, which disk you want to add as a quorum? I want to add this quorum disk. Okay, next. That's it, guys. Next. That's it. Now it is converting that quorum disk into the complete quorum. Okay, that's it. It will be very quick. Okay, you have successfully configured the quorum settings for cluster. Done. So now the clustering is completed, guys, with this step. You want to do the failover, guys?
Yes, sir.
Want to see
Yes.
failover, automatic failover, manual failover, how it will work? I'll show
Yes,
you
sir.
a manual failover. I'll show you the automatic failover. Once class is completed, I'll turn off primary node. It will go to the secondary node, guys. Okay. So if you see here, disks, under disks, you can see all the drives. Okay, and go down, you can see this drive, how much free space is there and all you can see here, guys. Go to your node. This is cluster network name. Currently, who is the host, guys? Node 1 is the host. I want to fail over this setup from node 1 to node 2. Sorry. Okay, how can I do the failover, guys? So as of now, these disks are not associated with any application. Okay, these disks are not associated with any application as of now. Only quorum is associated. Listen carefully, guys. Only quorum is associated with the failover cluster manager. Remaining two drives are not associated with any application. So if I do the failover, now tell me how many drives will move to your node 2, how many drives won't move, or all the drives will be moved to the node 2. Tell me, guys.
All the no.
All shared drive.
All shared
Yes,
drives will be moved to node 2.
yes, sir.
Right? Okay, chalo, let's do the failover, guys. How to do the failover manually? Right click on the failover cluster name, right click, more actions, move core cluster resources, select node. Okay, you can see all the available nodes. Now I have only two nodes. Okay, node 1, of course it is running, so you don't see node 1 name under this list. Of course we can fail over to the another available node, right? So another available node is node 2 only. You can click select that node and you can click OK. If you have multiple nodes, you can see node 2, node 3, node 4, node 5. To which node manually you want to fail over to a specific node, you can fail over, guys. I want to fail over to a specific node. Now you can see node 2, node 3, node 4, node 5. If you configured 5 node cluster, you can see node 5 here. Okay, I want to move these resources to node 4. Okay, chalo, double click on node 4. To which node you want to fail over? If it is an automatic failover, definitely it will goes to node 2 only. If it is a manual failover, you can choose your own node. Clear, guys? Automatic failover, automatically it will go to a round robin method. After node 1, node 2. After node 2, node 3. Node 3, node 4. Node 4 to node 5. Then again node 5 to node 1. Like that. Let's try to move this to node 2, guys. You can see here
Quorum
it will
disk.
be changed to node 2. See here it was changed to node 2. Earlier it was node 1, B42 node 1. Now this is node 2, guys. Yes, tell me, someone is saying something.
So quorum drive will move only.
Quorum drive only will move. Remaining two drives won't move.
Yes.
Are you sure?
All drive move.
All
All
drives will
drives
move.
We haven't
But data
configured those
file
drives
and
in
Guys, okay,
quorum.
chalo, okay, just go with this chart option. All drives are quorum drive. Just mention in the chart. We'll see how many of you understood this concept properly. Try
Hello,
to
sir.
respond quickly, guys. Yes.
Sir, need to clarify one thing. Sir, to move those things, those drives, we need to configure those in quorum first.
Now, why again you will configure in quorum? Quorum is already configured. You don't
Had-
configure it
had
again in the
that.
quorum.
Okay.
Come on, guys. Got 13 responses. 28 participants are there. 14 responses. Half of the participants has to respond. 18. 18 only I got. 19. 9 more people has to respond. 8 more people. 6 more people. 7. Oh, sorry. 4 more people. 4, 4, 4. 3 more people, 2 more people, and I don't know whether if you people are giving answers for 2 times. I can only see the count. 2 more people. Okay, chalo, let them sleep. No issues. Okay, okay. So Sanjeev said all drives, all drives, all drives. Quorum drive, Chidananda, Santosh, all drives, all because all are shared disks. Okay, Anand, Anuj, all drive. Swati, all drives. Madhvi, all drives, 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 all drives. All drives, all drives, all shared drives. Raghu, all drives, all drives. Okay. Uh, okay, so let's go with Chidananda. Tell me, Chidananda, why only quorum drive? All said all the drives. You only said quorum drive. Any specific reason? Or just talk pak, karve pak? Which one? Karve pak? Then tell me what is the reason?
Quorum will shift all
Quorum?
drives. No?
Quorum will shift all the drives, huh?
Yes.
Okay, chalo. Wrong answer. Right. So, guys, the answer is I'll show you. Okay. Let me go to my computer. Tell me, guys, how many drives are left? How many drives are moved?
2 drives.
Or if you're
Quorum drive.
feeling,
Quorum drive is not sharing.
or if you're feeling trouble, go to disks. Now tell me, what are the owner nodes for each drive?
Sir, only quorum mode, sir.
Why only quorum mode? Why not other shared drives?
Sir, because in quorum we haven't configured those drives.
No,
Only
forget about why we have to configure those drives in quorum. What
Oh.
is the logic behind? Did we discuss we have to configure other drives in the quorum? Anything did we discuss it like that?
No,
Anything
sir.
did I by mistake that kind of word come from my mouth? Anything like that? That is quorum itself a drive. Why again you will configure those shared drives in the quorum? Quorum will only, of course, I agree. Quorum will contains all the settings, but no need to again tell to quorum, hey, quorum, data drive and log drive, you have to consider. No,
Okay.
not required. Okay. And can anyone tell me when all the drives will be moved to node 2 in what case?
If application is connected to drives.
In any other case?
The hardware failure.
Very good. Hardware failure means what? Close it to the answer.
Disk is down.
Total
Sir.
failure.
Sorry, automatic failure. Someone said one answer. Automatic failure, guys. When you restart your node 1, okay, all the resources has to move to node 2, right? Automatic failure. When automatic failure will come, guys? When automatic failure will be done by the Windows cluster side? In what case? If your primary node is completely down, then it is going to do the automatic failover to the secondary node 2. Okay. So if the whole drive is, the whole node itself is down, no drives can be available, right? So all the drives will be moved to node 2 side. Sir, why these drives are not moved now? Why? Because these are only available drives, cluster drives. These drives are not associated with any application, any cluster applications as of now. But your Windows cluster will depends on the quorum. Your Windows cluster and quorum both are mapped together. Okay, there is a bonding between Windows cluster and quorum. All your Windows cluster setting will be stored inside in your quorum. So the Windows cluster and this quorum are tagged together. Okay, that's why when you do the failover, only the quorum drives moved. Why not my shared drives, guys? Why? Because the shared drives are not associated with any application. When I install SQL Server, on all these 2 nodes, if I fail over the SQL Server, then these drives also will be failovered, guys. Clear? Do you want me to open the diagram again? Is it clear, guys? As of
Yes,
now,
sir.
those two drives are not associated with any application. Those are only shared drives. That's it. But your quorum is associated with the Windows cluster setup. That's why when you fail over that Windows cluster setup, when you fail over that Windows cluster, it was moved to the next available node. The quorum also moved to the next available node. As I haven't installed any applications on my cluster drives, so even though you do the failover, manual failover, it won't goes to a next available drive. When you do the automatic failover, if my node 1 is down, of course, from if the node 1 is down, no drive will run from node 1, right? Automatically it has to move to node 2, right? In that situation, okay, all the drives are going to move towards your node 2 server, guys. Is it clear? As of now, when this come into the picture, guys, if I install SQL server in these two drives, then only if I do the failover of this particular SQL server, the drives also will be failovered. As of now, I haven't installed SQL server, so these two drives are just eligible to install the SQL server. Okay, not yet completely configured with SQL server application. Once I configure the SQL server, once I install any SQL server in any of the drives or in both the drives, this is data drive and this is log drive, and if I install one SQL server and if I map these two drives with that SQL server, if I fail over this application, these two drives also will be moved towards the next node. Is it clear, guys? Any issues, any doubts, any questions?
So, sir, can we call quorum a tool or?
Quorum, it's not a tool. Okay. Is master database a tool? But if you want, you can call it as a tool, no problem.
Okay, okay, sir.
Guys, is it clear why my drives are not moved towards your node 2 now? Is it clear? Still having any doubts? Please let me know, no problem. Guys, cleared or not clear? Tell me, guys. If it is cleared,
Drives
tell me
about drives
cleared. If it
cleared,
is
sir.
not cleared, tell me not cleared. I'm giving you two options, right? I'm not only giving a single option. Cleared or not cleared. If you are not responding,
Cleared.
I'll treat it as a not cleared.
Yes,
Still,
sir.
do you want
Clear.
me to explain why
Cleared.
I'm getting a response only from one guy? Why I'm not getting response from others? Out of 28, why I'm getting only one person is responding? Why not 27? Is there any problem, guys? Here, please. For that also there is no answer. Okay, chalo, your wish. Okay, so if you have a doubt, ask me again.
Not
I'll
clear,
happy to
sir.
explain. Not clear.
Yes, sir.
Then why don't you ask? It's not clear. I'm 10 times, 20 times. If I ask, then only you'll ask not clear. And then only you'll say not clear. If it is not clear, tell me clearly. Again, I'll explain. I don't have any issues. Okay, right. Tell me which area you are not cleared. Till now, is it clear? Only the failover is you're not clear, or complete Windows cluster setup you are not clear?
Failure, sir.
Only failure
Failure.
part you are not cleared. Okay, guys. Fine, fine. So as of now, forget about this SQL server. As per this diagram, I guess you can see the screen, right? You can see the diagram, right?
Yes, sir.
Done. Okay. So in this diagram, these are my cluster drives. Okay. Forget about these two drives. This is for another application. This is for that, but not that particular application. This is for another application. So forget about these two drives. This is for Flipkart. As of now, only Amazon or only Flipkart is running, not Amazon. Okay, only Amazon is running, or no application is installed, guys. I just created a node, two nodes, and I just configured shared drives and IP addresses. Okay, and of course one quorum drive also. Quorum is associated with your Windows Server failover cluster. Without quorum, your Windows Server failover cluster won't run. Is this statement cleared? Why? Because in the quorum,
Yes, sir.
all the failover cluster related components information will be stored. All the failover clustering settings will be stored. So your quorum will be mapped to your failover cluster manager. Okay. So is this statement clear, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Done.
Yes, sir.
To install SQL Server, okay, I am going to utilize or use two share drives. To install SQL Server, I can either go with a single share drive, or I can go with a multiple share drives also. This time I just created two share drives. When these two shared drives are coming to the picture, guys, when I install SQL Server, then only these two shared drives are going to be useful. As of now, I just make myself ready to install the SQL Server. So as of now, these two shared drives are not mapped with any application, any cluster application. Is this statement cleared?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Cleared,
Yes, sir.
right? So once I
Yes.
install my SQL Server, of course, I'm going to choose the existing drives. Is this statement cleared?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Sir.
so to install the SQL Server, that's why I just created these two shared drives, right? So while installing, I'll choose these two shared drives. So this SQL Server will be mapped with these two shared drives. As of now, these two shared drives are free. So if you do the automatic failover, means what? Completely, if the node is down, okay, automatic failover means what? Completely, if the server is down, that is called your automatic failover. Okay, completely, if your server is down, that is your automatic failure. Either okay, some fire accident, or okay, power crash, anything. Okay, completely, if your node is down, no resources can up and running from this node, right? Right.
Yes.
Yes.
Right.
So all the resources will be moved towards your secondary node, right?
Yes.
Yes,
In
sir.
what case? That is automatic failure case. Manual failure, you are doing manual failure. You just did only the failure cluster manager. You just fail over that failure cluster manager, not the cluster setup. If you want, I can also move the shared storages from node 1 to node 2 manually. Okay, let's go with this node 1. Okay, I want to move this node. Okay, let's select these two drives. I want to only move this node. Okay, so once you selected these two drives, you can see one option, move available shared storage, select node. Okay, let me go to node 2. Okay, now they will be offline from node 1, they will be online from node 2. Now honor node is changed to node 2, guys. If you want to move manually, you can move it, no issues, no one is going to stop you. But as of now, these two drives are free drives. No application is mapped with these drives. But Quorum is already tagged with your Windows cluster setup, guys. That's why when you fail over the Windows cluster, along with the Windows cluster, your Quorum also moved. As I haven't tagged these two drives to any application, that's why these two drives are not moved to any drive. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Still having an issue? Okay, now you can see once I just moved, now I don't see those drives on my node 1. My node 1 is empty. Now you can see all the three drives on node 2, guys. But when I install a SQL Server, once I fail over that SQL Server instance to another node, whatever drives are there that was attached to the application, all the drives will be moved automatically. Why? Because along with the application, the drives should move, guys. Is it clear now?
Yes, sir.
Any questions, any
Yes, sir.
doubts, guys? No, right? Fine, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Still somewhat you're not confident. That's okay. Try to configure it. You will get some confidence. Any questions, any doubts, guys, please? Any doubts in the clustering? Though now what is the next step? Everything is ready. Windows Server Payload clustering is ready. Now that's it.
Install SQL.
I have to
Configure
install
SQL
the
Server.
SQL Server. Failover cluster instance I have to install. Very easy, guys. Only 1-2 extra screens will be there. How you install standalone instance, same kind of stuff, same kind of options, same kind of settings. 1 or 2 extra screens will be there. Okay. So while configuring SQL clustering, again, you have to give one more IP address, guys. Okay. So for each SQL server, you have to give one more extra IP address you have to give. Now, guys, tell me how many IP addresses till now I used as of now? How many IP
Five.
addresses?
Five.
5, right?
10.
Can you elaborate what and all these 5 IP addresses?
Two
Two
public
public,
IP
two
address,
private,
Public,
two public,
2 private,
two private IP,
one
one
cluster.
1
cluster.
cluster.
One hard.
Run, done. This is for how many nodes, guys?
Two nodes.
Very good. 2 nodes.
Two
And the
nodes.
answer I asked, right? Can we configure a single node cluster? Yes, we can configure a single node cluster. It's an interview question. And there is no use. As someone said, what is the use, sir? No use. But possibility is there. You can configure a single node cluster also. Right. Chalo. This is for 2 nodes, 5 IP addresses are needed. Tell me, guys, for 5 nodes, how many IP addresses are needed? As of
10.
now, we haven't configured SQL clustering. If we configure SQL
No.
clustering, guys, one more
11.
extra IP addresses will be there. While configuring SQL clustering, you have to give one more cluster. This is for Windows cluster. This is for SQL cluster. WinClus, okay, SQL class. WinClus SQL class. Okay, if you configure SQL clustering. Okay, so total how many IP addresses now?
6.
6 IP addresses for 2 nodes, right? Tell me for 5 nodes, how many IP addresses are needed with SQL application, without SQL application? I need the answer.
With the SQL 11. Without SQL 10.
10.
1 minute.
14.
It was 12.
Without SQL 10, sir. With SQL 11.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Tell me, guys.
Secret 14.
First, tell
Yes,
me
sir,
without SQL. Without SQL, with SQL, you can add one extra. That's it. Without SQL, how many?
10, sir.
10, sir.
10.
10.
Okay. 2n, there is a formula, guys. Okay. 2n plus 1. 2n plus 1. Okay. This is the formula for IP addresses. When, if there is no SQL application, if SQL application is there, one more will be added to n plus 2. This is the shortcut. Let's go with without SQL application. So 5 nodes, n means number of nodes. 2
11.
into 5, 10. 10 plus 1, 11. If they ask, can you tell me what and all those IP addresses? 5 public, 5 private, 1 Windows cluster IP address. That's it. Okay, if they said 1 SQL application or 2 SQL applications, guys, if anyone asked, can you tell me how many IP addresses are needed? Just I am asking, I am the interviewer. I am asking you the question without giving any information. How many IP addresses are needed for configuring Windows cluster? If I asked you this question, what is your response, guys? Immediate response.
It mentioned with SQL or
We
without.
need to.
No, I didn't tell any nodes.
But tell me
With
how many.
SQL or without.
1.
2n plus 1, sir.
How many nodes, sir? 2n. N is
Correct.
squared.
First
Yeah.
immediate question is how many nodes? How many nodes? How many applications? In this 5 node cluster, you can install 1 application. You can install 2 applications or 3 SQL applications you can install. Agree? Right? So the count depends upon your number of nodes and number of applications, guys. Agree? So now
Yes,
tell
sir.
me, this is the question. 5 node cluster setup with 2 SQL servers. How many IP addresses are needed? 5 node cluster setup with 2 SQL servers. 2 SQL instances. How many? 10.
13.
12, sir.
13.
13.
13, sir.
13.
Type your answers in the chat.
13.
Can you tell me, can you elaborate the 13 IP addresses?
5 public.
Very good.
5 private, 1
Very good.
cluster, 2
One
private.
SQL.
1
2
cluster.
SQL
2
servers.
SQL.
Very good. Excellent, guys. Okay. So without SQL server, the formula is 2n plus 1. With 1 SQL server, the formula is 2n plus 2. With 2 SQL servers, the formula is 2n plus 3. Like that, if SQL servers are increasing, you have to increase the formula. 2n plus, in my case, 2 SQL servers, right? 2n plus 3. Okay, 2n plus 3 means 2 into number of nodes 5. 2 into 5, 10 plus 3, 13 IP addresses, guys. Now tell me how many IP addresses are needed. Okay, fastest fingers first. How many IP addresses are needed for 27 node cluster, 18 applications? Someone is already answered. 27 node cluster with 18 applications. Of course, 27 node cluster means you can imagine how many applications it will support. It will support multiple applications. We'll go with 18 applications. All 18 applications are running from 27 nodes. Okay. Got only 9 answers. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 13 people has to respond. Come on, quick guys. 17, 18, 20.
Sir, how many SQL?
18 SQL servers.
Okay.
23. So let me calculate the answer. 27 node, right? 2 into 27, how
Yes,
much?
sir. 54.
Plus
18
18 plus
plus 1.
Plus 1.
that's it, guys. 18 plus 1, 19, 54 plus 20, 74 minus 1, 73. 73 is the correct answer. Let's check. 73, 73, 73, 73. Oh my God. Oh my God. 73, 73, 73, 73, 73. Very good, guys. Only Charan 83 might be by mistake. That's okay. Okay. Yeah. Right. So that's it, guys. Simply how many nodes into 2, how many applications, that many IP addresses, plus 1 extra for Windows cluster setup. 2 into 27, 54, plus 18 applications, 18 IP addresses, plus 1 for Windows cluster complete. If you count it, it will be 73, guys. The correct answer is 73. Okay, very good, guys. Excellent. Good. Okay, chalo. Let's show you the automatic failover. Okay, then I'm going to close the class for today. Tomorrow we'll discuss SQL clustering. Okay, tomorrow also I'll show you how to failover the SQL server. Okay, first I'll show you just Windows server failover. Okay, as we don't have any applications, let's go with automatic. How automatic failover will work. Now, if I turn on, this is my which node, guys? Node 1, right? If I turn off node 1, any impact will be there for my cluster setup?
No, sir.
If I shut
No,
down my
sir.
node 1, why? Because from node 1 nothing is
No.
running, so no impact will be there. Let's try to shut down the node 2. All the applications are running, means your drives, okay, your cluster application is running from node 2, right? So let's try to shut down the node 2. Automatically it will goes to node 1, guys. You can see the change. Go to node 1. Let's go to disks. I'll show you the live example. Now you can see honor node is node 2, right? It will be changed to node 1. Okay. Windows power button. Guys, for checking automatic failover, don't turn off any nodes in your organization. Okay. This is just for practice. Continue. Now go to node 1 immediately. You can see the change. See here. All the drives are down automatically. And all the drives came online from node 1. And your cluster setup, earlier it was node 2, now you can see,
sir.
okay, host
Node
server is
1.
node 1. Automatically it was failover, guys. This is how automatic failover will work, and you can see all the drives present at node 1. This is how your automatic failover will work, guys. Clear? Right? So that's it, guys. Tomorrow we'll configure SQL clustering. Tomorrow also I'll show you how to do the failover of SQL clustering. How automatic failover will work. Tomorrow we'll discuss all the things, guys. That's it for today. And if you want to configure, try to configure it, guys. It's very easy, not so difficult thing. I'll try to share the videos, but please try to understand. I am at my hometown, so limited internet connectivity is there. So I'm trying to share the videos as early as possible. But if they are late, don't mind. Okay, I'm going to share it at any cost.
Yes, sir.
Okay, guys. Thank you so much. We'll meet tomorrow at 7 AM.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.